Hello, and welcome to Wizard World Virtual Experiences. I'm Liz Prue, co-founder of PureFandom.com, and I'll be moderating today's Rose Mcgowan panel. We are so thrilled to have Rose here today, and we're so thankful to have you all watching from all over the world. We have folks in Australia, Minnesota, Kentucky, Florida, British Columbia, Philadelphia. Gosh, this is awesome. You guys are everywhere. Before we get started and bring Rose out, I have a couple of housekeeping items. We are streaming to you live on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, bringing you that Comic-Con life to the comfort of your home with these free celebrity panels, in addition to paid exclusive experiences, including one-on-one private video chats and autographs from Rose herself. Those are always on sale at wizardworldvirtual.com and will continue to be so throughout the week. So even if you guys are watching this as a replay, Rose Mcgowan experiences will be available through Friday, October 9th. And also don't forget to check out past signed memorabilia and work of art from our favorite artists and vendors at wizardworldvault.com. It's basically Wizard World's virtual convention floor, so let's continue to support those independent artists while we're still having to geek out virtually. We'll also be asking your questions throughout the panel, so feel free to drop all your questions in the chat on whichever platform you are streaming on. We will try to get to everybody's question. All right. Let's get started, fans. Let's introduce our guest. This filmmaker and activist is a New York Times bestselling author, one of Time Magazine's People of the Year, and from pop culture classics like Scream, Charmed, Jawbreaker, Planet Terror. Please put your hands together for Rose Mcgowan. Woo! She'll be coming out here in just a sec. We'll get all the tech worked out. In the meantime, please keep sending your questions, guys. I am seeing tons and tons of questions coming through. Oh, we have folks here too from Arkansas, California, Vegas, Orlando, Massachusetts. This is awesome. Rose will be here in just one moment. There she is. Hey.
Oh. Hi, everybody.
Thank you so much for joining.
This is Pearl.
Baby, who's this?
This is Pearl, aka Perla, aka Perlita, because we live in Mexico.
Oh.
Her name here is Perlita, but in English, Pearl. Little Pearl, she's so cute.
Hi, Perlita. Oh, she's adorable.
Yeah.
Dogs are the best. I'm doing well. This girl, I've been looking forward to this all week. So thank you so much. I'm very, very excited.
I'm so glad.
Big admirer of yours. We
Thank you.
We have tons of fan questions, like lots and lots and lots. And we want to make sure we have everybody get their question asked. To kickstart things though, we have several people asking because their favorite fandom is Charmed or they're Scream fans. What is your favorite fandom? Or what do you like to geek out on?
Oh, very good question. Like Stanley Kubrick films, like 2001: A Space Odyssey, The Shining. But as far as modern things, I'm kind of fandom. I really like Game of Thrones, but then I lost the plot literally somewhere, and then I didn't know who all the new people were, and I was really into that. I know that's like a while ago.
I am too.
The only thing I really watch, I swear, and I sleep with these headphones on, which is hilarious because I lost my little ones, but I sleep to like Forensic Files, and yeah, I would say I'm a big fan of a guy named Homicide Hunter, Lieutenant Joe Kinda.
There you go.
Random, but I think some people will know who that is. I don't know. I have strange taste.
Well, crime shows, I mean, anytime there's a new one out on Netflix, I'm all over it. It's just.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, awesome. Love it. We all have so many questions, and I don't even know which one to go through first. Let's get to some of the Charmed questions.
Okay.
If you recall, what was the most difficult episode to film and why?
Yeah, I think it would be my second or third episode in the series. Might be the third episode in the first season I joined, which I think would be the fourth or fifth season. I'm not sure. Somebody out there will know. And I had to be in clay. We three Piper, Phoebe, and I, and Paige were all encased in clay, and we're like for hours and hours, just like, and it was what they used on the face was just like a mud mask, you know, the kind that women use for like 3 minutes before it gets hard, or men too, whatever. And it breaks apart. But we were in it for days and days and days, hours and hours and hours. And I was like, this sucks. I couldn't drink. I couldn't eat. And it was just more like, it was more like absurd. Like it was like hard episodes, but not hard. Hard was like just being really tired and still having to bring it, and not succumbing to, like, sometimes you're just like, I want to phone it in. I want to like, just, I know I can play this character so easily, but I was like, no, that's not my job. My job is to bring it no matter how tired I am. But it was usually like, the last 2 months of the Charmed series that we were filming, I was filming that from Monday, like at 5 a.m. to Monday night, and then all the way to Thursday. Thursday night, I would fly to Texas and shoot Grindhouse, and for 4 days. And that was like, and I lost so much weight. I was like so skinny and like stressed out, and like I had, am I talking too much?
They're here. We're here to listen to you, girl.
Oh, okay, cool. But it was funny in Grindhouse. I had my skin made kind of like, I wanted to look more Italian, like where I'm from. So I had my skin made darker. But then Paige, you know, was my pale. So on the airplane on the way back from Texas, on the way to the set of Charmed, I had like giant piles of baby wipes that I'd like scrub at my face and my whole, as much of my body as I could, while sitting next to people on the plane who were like,
what is she doing?
What? And I would have like brown and white streaks all over. I'm like, I just have to do it. This is an actor's life, man. It's
right?
Okay.
Well, and Charmed too was, I watched Charmed, and it was, there was always some kind of effect, and it seemed like a lot of it wasn't just like special effects. Like it was, like you were saying, it was either costume or there was like some demon in a costume. Like there was a lot going on.
There was always a lot going on, and you know, we had a big crew, and we had a lot of stages that we shot on, and there's always a lot going on. Sometimes a lot of guest stars, sometimes like only 1 or 2. And it was funny, for years afterwards, I'd be walking on the street and someone would come up to me and be like, oh, hey, you killed me in episode 27, season 6. And I'm like, I did? They're like, yeah, I came up and I went like that, and you went and threw me across the room. I'm like, did we talk? And they're like, yes, in real life, but I have no lines in the show. And I'm like, so I killed you? They're like, yeah, pretty much, but you're really nice about it. I'm like, awesome.
There you go. David Ibarreta would like to know, in Grindhouse, how do you prepare for acting with a machine gun for a leg?
I had to work out really hard to like train my lower abs to be able to hold up what turned out to be a 10-pound solid cast on my leg, like from here all the way to the heel. And then they would strap my toes to my, there's my foot, strap my toes to my ankle and put my heel on like a little ball bearing, but while encased in this hard thing, because my leg had to be removed and then rebuilt. And they had like LED lights and their special stuff, you know, because if my leg went by a table, they'd have to rebuild the table. Everything I touched or moved past or person I moved by, they have to rebuild them as well. So it was actually quite challenging. And then the other side, I wore a 4-inch high-heeled boot. So let me just say, like, so one foot is like this, one foot's like this, and doing all those stunts and like crazy things. I had to get myself really strong before the movie, but then during the movie, it was such a stressful shoot. I lost, I think, like 10 pounds. So like from parts of the movie, I had like normal, and other parts I'm like, but it's also carrying around that much weight. It was like exercise. So you're like exercising all the time, which is not my normal state.
Me either, especially not during quarantine.
I know. I think about it. That's what I do.
There you go. That's an effort.
I think about exercise. I'm like,
right.
Hooray.
You're in Mexico though. It's beautiful there. You should be outside and just.
Oh, I am. But I'm in the jungle, and so I do. I go on adventures. There are these underground caves with cenotes. Those are like pure water, and it's all connected underground through a river system, like a tributary. And there's like, I'm 15 minutes away from the ocean, and I live in a jungle. I saw a tarantula that, for those of us who do centimeters, I would probably say maybe like 20 centimeters. And for inches, I'd probably say like 8 or 9 inches, like big as my face. I'm sweeping my balcony and I look over and I'm like, yes, you are a tarantula. Why, yes, you are. Okay. And you just have to deal with it. Like a scorpion ran under the bed the other day. It's just like, I'm in their home, I guess.
Right. Yeah. My husband lived in Australia for a few years and he got very used to things like that.
Being bitten.
Yeah.
That too.
Right. We have a lot of folks asking about Planet 9, and a few people are wanting to know when there will be a vinyl release, which is of course your album.
So the vinyl for Planet 9, everybody who doesn't know, that's an album. That's actually the other half of my book, Brave. So Brave, I kind of worked around the clock for 3.5 years to get them both ready simultaneously. And then I was like, no, don't release it at the same time, even though they actually go together. Like the reward for going through Brave and kind of getting brave is the softness and emotion of Planet 9, which is a beautiful, to me, album that I made. I worked very hard on it. And it's like therapy for a lot of people, it really heals trauma, but also it's interesting. I've played it for like 10-year-olds, 80-year-olds, and it kind of works on everybody. And my thing was like, why can't you make wellness music, healing music that also has like some bangers and dope beats and like deep lyrics and things like that, instead of just kind of like music, kind of new age music, if you will. But it's the vinyl, thanks to coronavirus, was supposed to be pressed before coronavirus, but now there's also was a big fire in this place that makes things to make albums, to make vinyl.
Oh, wow.
And so there's only 2 places in the world that made this one part that they need. And one of them, the biggest one, caught on fire. So there's a huge backlog right now. But it's coming. The album art is dope. The actual vinyl, the record part of it, it's like this beautiful lavender purple with sparkle in it. And yeah, it's great. And I really recommend it. It's 38 minutes. You can find it on Spotify or wherever you listen to music. The first time I recommend people shutting their eyes and laying back. It's only 38 minutes, and I swear you go on a journey. Like some people like, it's not my kind of music, but I'm like, it's not like any kind of music because it's very specifically its own kind of thing. But it has like French electronic and like Cuban bass. And I went all around the world and from like Texas to Paris to put this whole thing together. And I just had this compulsion that I had to do it. And I'm glad people are finding it. I didn't do a lot of press or promote it. I just kind of thought, I just want it to be out there in the world and see what happens. And since it's kind of a timeless piece, anything can happen.
I love that. I listened to it before this, and it's great. And I love that you said, I think it was an interview with Yahoo, that if we write about what the world is versus what it can be, it doesn't offer up much hope. And I love that vibe through.
I said that?
You said that, girl. It was pretty. I was like, I got to write that
down.
I got to
That's actually, wait, that's really good.
Yeah.
I like, even my book and even some of the tracks on the album, especially Lonely House, like I wrote that, like, it's just like channeling, because I don't know, it's strange. Like something comes over me, like when I give speeches or things like that, I really don't remember what I say most of the time, but I'm like, damn, whoever did that, like, good job, you. Yeah. Whoever that is. Thanks, me. Thanks, right? Other me that lives in this space or something. It comes down to visit sometimes. I don't know.
No, I think we all get like that when we speak publicly, even if, you're used to it or not.
Yeah, I don't think do you think there's use to it? I mean, I guess so for like a Tony Robbins person or something where you can do it by like kind of automated. But I think like it depends. The last speech I gave was just before quarantine. And it was in Norway. And this was like my random, I guess, internalized misogyny or whatever. It was a woman organizing this place where I was giving the speech, and I just thought, oh, it must be a women's conference. I don't know. I just thought that. And I got there and it was like 85% men in gray suits. And I was like, cool. And I thought about it and I'm like, do I have to change anything other than adjust my glasses a little bit? And my thought was like, no. And the opening that I said was, I am not here to talk to women. I am not here to talk to men. I am here to talk to humans. And if you're interested in that, let's have a conversation. And that's kind of where I live. I live more like I prefer humans to labels and things like that. Because I think if you say you're a woman, you're kind of trapped with all that baggage. If you say you're a man or trans or gay or, a race, it comes with a lot of luggage. But if you say human, you have all the room in the world to play.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. That kind of leans into this next question from Jeannie 4. Well, a little bit, but she asked, which role have you played that you think best captures your true essence? So,
good. Right. I think for a long time, people probably thought my true essence was Courtney in Jawbreaker, who was very saucy and a sociopath, I would say. My true essence, I think probably the hurt part of me would be Cherry Darling in Planet Terror, and the strong part of me, the warrior one. I think the funny part of me is Charmed, and the emotional part too. And I think Scream, that was wild because I never lived that kind of girl's life, Tatum, and that she was like upper middle class, had like loving parents. She had like stuffed animal in her bed, and I just didn't live that way. And growing up, and it was something I'd only really seen in the movies or like through windows of other people's houses. But that one had like my softness. I'd say it's like, it's not one. I think you have to put them all together and like find different parts of yourself. I think that's, to me, since I never studied to be an actor, I was discovered. But I think, like my first movie, Doom Generation, I was like, look, you fucking chunky pumpkin head. I was like super like, and I based that one when I was like 15 or 14, just like saucy and like snapping and more like the world is scary. So I'm going to punch back and I'm going to punch first. But all of them, I think that's what acting is. You really, through playing other people, you discover like what is you. Well, especially because you're being them for more than you are you.
Right. Well, it's interesting too, because like all those characters you just described are like defining moments in pop culture. Like they're just, it kind of like launched like what we think of as pop culture, like the 90s, 2000s. And so I think, you give yourself credit. You gave your part of yourself to those roles.
Yeah, well, I definitely did, and what was cool about it was just that, and I did feel like for me kind of like it was weird because I got well known very quickly and before social media, which is very hard to become well known if you don't have like nepotism or, a Hollywood parent or someone in the industry that's sponsoring you, and to break through globally is very hard. I'm going to turn on my lights. Okay.
Oh yeah, go ahead. And guys, keep your questions coming too. We're getting through them all. I see them. We're going to ask as many as we can.
Okay. I won't go on as long. How about that?
No, you're good. We're doing great on time. I'm just encouraging still.
Okay. Next question.
Okay, we have a lot of Disney fans here. I know you were only in a few episodes of Once Upon a Time, but we have a lot of Disney fans. I actually binge watched that on my first maternity leave. Great show. I loved doing it.
Thank you. It was yeah. So what's the question about it?
The question, well, some folks would like to know a few. We'll start with the first one. Do you have a favorite Disney movie or Disney character?
Yes, and maybe you'll know it from the Lindsay Lohan remake, but my favorite Disney film is 1961, and it's called A Parent Trap, or Parent Trap, and it's the original. And I never saw Lindsay's version. I'm sure it's great, but the one from 1961, I think, is kind of like everything that's great about Disney, like kind of a flawless film.
Mhm.
I like Enchanted also. I thought that was really cute. But I love Once Upon a Time. I mean, they had such good actors on there, you know, and the costumer, Eduardo Castro, shout out, whom I worked with. What did I work with him on? I can't remember. I worked with him on something before, but he's just fabulous. And his costumes, as everybody knows on Once, were like epic. And Robert Carlyle is one of the favorite actors I've worked with, and it was sad that it was such a short time, but we had a good connection and fun acting. It felt like, you know, two high level tennis players playing a strong match.
He's awesome. Loved him in that show.
Yeah, amazing.
We have a bunch of Scream questions coming through, I think, because there was a little bit of a delay. So we'll get back.
Halloween.
Screen, and it's October. What was it like filming the garage door scene? Were you actually, I think what they're meaning, were you actually in there?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, God.
And the stunt double they got for me, how do I say this? We just didn't have the same body, and it would have been very noticeable that it wasn't me. Very noticeable that it was a stunt. I have kind of like small, like, you know, arms, and or my bones are, you know, kind of small. And the thing is, stunt women can be quite buff and stronger, or I don't know, stronger, but present stronger. So anyway, I did it myself because I knew I could. And the weirdest part was actually preparing for that scene, because they had, I had to have a whole mold made of my face and all that stuff for the death moment, you know, and it was like actually like a dummy. They made my whole body actually.
Wow.
But it wasn't a dummy, it was like prosthetic. And like 2 months before I shot the movie, before I shot Scream, I had to do the thing where I made the face of death, that I would have make your face at the moment of impact that you're gonna make 2 months from now. And I'm like, okay. Those are, you know, whatever it was. And what was messed up about it, I was like, this is really weird. And she had her arms up, you know, and so she being me, they were doing my makeup that day for the big death finale scene for me, while doing the prosthetic me's makeup, and her eyes looked so real and really like in pain and trauma. And it was like, and there was another person doing her makeup, right, and her head's like right behind mine. I'm like, this is weird. And the garage door part was actually really fun, because even though my body is somewhat delicate, my brain is like Scrappy Doo. It's like, oh, I'll fuck you up, and I'll fuck this up, I'll do it. But then my body's like, but I did it anyway. I had bruises like from here, like to below my backside, but it looked dope, and I knew I could do it, and it would look a lot better. And you know, pain is temporary, film is forever. At least that's what the producers say to get you to do it.
The Ace 101 says she's also a huge Scream fan, or he. Their question is, what was your favorite thing about filming Scream?
I would say Wes Craven and the set environment that he created. You know, it was really safe, and it was very early in my career, and I thought that was going to be how like other film sets would be, and I didn't realize till later that that was a very special environment he created, and he really cared about us, and he didn't just treat us like, you know, young actors that didn't know much, or at least not me. And I don't think, you know, he used to babysit my dog Bug, my little Boston Terrier puppy, on the weekends when I'd fly back to LA, because we were shooting up in the wine country in California. And he was just a gentle, lovely, very smart, deeply intellectual, deep man, you know, and a master. It was great.
That's awesome.
That was my favorite part.
Awesome. Love it. Artsy Busy would like to know if there is any advice you would give to someone who just wrote a screenplay.
Oh, that's it. Okay. Mm,
Oh,
ah,
I'm very sorry. I missed the second half of that. They would like to know, is there any advice you would give to someone who just wrote a screenplay about their own abuse story? I'm too
yes.
busy. Sorry, I'm part of that.
The only thing I can think of, there is something called the blacklist, which is kind of funny considering that's what I was in Hollywood. But I would say, first of all, I'm really sorry. And this is, and writing, is a way, as uh, the human asking this question is a way to process, and also good for you, turning it into art, turning pain into art, and humor and all of that stuff, because we're all of that, no matter what happens to us. There is something I know called the blacklist, and you can submit screenplays to that, and that's all I really know. I don't know. Like, I'm not someone who, when someone's like, how do I get an agent? I'm like, I don't know. Because I was discovered. And how do you go through this process? I'm like, I don't know, because I did it all backwards, kind of. So there are some questions I don't have good answers for, but I'm sure there are a lot of forums. And I think it's amazing that they did that. And I wish you so much luck. But there's a guy named Franklin Leonard, Leonard, and you can find him on Twitter, Franklin Leonard, and he runs something called the Blacklist, where people submit, and it's unattached screenplays. Screenplays have not been, financed or anything like that, and people vote on them. And I've heard about that.
Awesome. Also, Coverfly, just a little tip. Coverfly is a platform for who asked that question, where they have like a marketplace of script. So
that's dope. Coverfly,
it's pretty cool. Cool. Amanda M would like to know, what music are you listening to these days besides your own?
Last night I was listening to the Chromatics, and I've been listening to La Femme, which is a great French electronic band, and I really like Cardi B, and I like Megan Thee Stallion, and I've been listening to Lil Wayne's new album, and I was also listening to a lot of opera last week, but not like all of it, because I'll be honest, I just like the greatest hits in each thing. I tried to sit in an opera, it didn't go well. That's what I'm listening to. I like kind of all sorts. Like, I'll go from like Eminem to Aerosmith to like Ariana Grande to, I love like it was an old label called 4AD, and they had like bands, like just incredible bands that I loved when I was like 14, and I've been rediscovering a lot of those, like Sisters of Mercy and legendary Pink Dots and Bauhaus, and like cool things y'all should get into if you haven't heard of them.
That's awesome.
Cocteau Twins.
More binge quarantine, or not binge. Well, I guess you can binge listen to music. Yeah, there you go.
I do. Do you do that? I do that. Like, if I like one song, I'll annoy everybody around me. I'm like, hey, for 24 hours, this is my theme. Let's go. And like, or not around me, but I'll listen to I was singing along with Britney Spears's and every time I think da, 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 every time. I can't sing as high as she does, but I like her very much.
Oh, she's the best.
Free Britney, y'all.
I know, girl. Charming Lucia would like to know, would you like to film or produce anything in Mexico?
That's a great question. I would love to. I'm not, honestly, I came down here to heal, and but I've been recently getting my creativity kind of flowing again, or feeling like it wants to come back, because, honestly, the last 3-4 years, it was I just had to fight, and there wasn't a lot of space to create. And when you're kind of in trauma or like freaked out or really stressed, it's not the best time to create, at least not for me. And so things are easing up, and I want to sing again soon. I kind of want to do an acoustic album, just like with a piano or a guitar, like really simple singer-songwriter style. Like, because Planet Nine is very much an art project. It goes the visuals that I've shot that aren't out yet. It's very much like its own thing. But as far as like what I love singing, it's more like almost acoustic-y. Yeah.
That's awesome. I don't even know which ones to go to. We have so many. Andrew Rish would like to know, well, you kind of already answered this one with Scream saying how wonderful the set was, but they would like to know which was more fun to film, Death Proof or Scream?
Duh, Scream. Although I was blonde in both.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
That doesn't bode well for me now.
Yeah. We have a lot of people saying your hair looks amazing, which it does look amazing.
Oh, thank you. I made a solid 60% effort today to blow dry my hair, and I'm not good at it, but my little chicken puff, my rooster puff, is doing okay.
I love it.
Thank you.
It's awesome. I finally got my hair cut for the first time in like 7 months.
Whoa.
It was like,
how long were your bangs?
I was like, I cut them before quarantine because I had like 2 kids back to back, and I was like, Mama needs to do something with this, and like, and then quarantine happened, and then they were like down to here, and then I was like, you know what?
Did you feel like a Cocker Spaniel?
I did, but I never straightened my hair, so it's kind of nice to just like let it.
No, you say you used to straighten it? Is that what you said?
I don't straighten it. I just let it.
No, go. Yeah, I always had to have blow dries in Hollywood, and then when I finished being on Charmed, I no longer knew how to do my own hair, so I would just get blow dries, and I was so disconnected from what it looked like. I was like, actually, I hate this look. Actually, it works for character, but not for me. And like sometimes I would confuse the two. Mm-hmm. But if I had long hair again, I would just let it be wild, like yours.
Oh, thanks, girl. If I had short hair, I would want it just like that.
Thanks.
Gina Fish 7B1 would like to know, what did you enjoy most about your video game voiceover work?
That's a good question. I just love doing voiceover. I did one recently. Well, not recently, 6 months ago now, for the autobiography, the biography on Natalie Wood, who was a famous actress that died in mysterious circumstances, but an incredible child actress to not adult actress, but she was an adult when she acted and kept her career going. Huge star, and then died tragically drowning. And I had a lot of fun voicing that. But what I love about the video game, and it's very weird, like people can be me, but it's not me. But I'm like killing people. I don't know. I thought it was really cool. My favorite part was just that it was weird, I guess.
Yeah. It's a different experience. Well, because is it like
definitely
animation voiceover? I guess it would be like the same kind of. Well,
no. No, they did this. It's called MoPac, motion capture, and this was kind of like, honestly, like freaked my head out really bad. I was like, wow. I don't know if you guys have ever seen. It looks like a massive ball, like on a giant like sound stage, with like over $2 million of cameras on it from every single angle, like all around you. They capture you, every little slice of you, so they can rebuild you. And that was like, I was edging out of Hollywood at that point, and I was like, this is extra. But I love doing voice with John Malkovich and Bill Paxton, and rest in much peace. It was amazing. Yeah, and it's fun, like, shooting people, but not in real life.
Right. Video game outlet. We just have a few minutes left, so we'll get to these last couple questions here. We do have a lot of people. Margaret Maggs Blaylock said, thank you for being so strong and being a role model / badass. Which we have several of those coming through. Artsy Busy says, you're so powerful, Rose. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm feeling much better.
Good. That's awesome. Little Miss Gloom Doom would like to know, in all of your movie and TV projects, who has been your favorite co-star?
Favorite co-star. I'm not I'm literally just trying to go through all my movies and like, who am I going to annoy by saying the wrong thing or right thing? Ha 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 ha.
You could cheat and say Scream because the whole set was such a good vibe and that.
Yeah, I like Holly, I think. Holly and Marie Combs, I think the best. Yeah. I mean, but not like, but we were together longer than I was with any other people. But you guys might not know who this is, you youngins, but there is a legendary actor named Sir Peter O'Toole, O''Toole. And Peter became one of the great loves of my life. And we met on a movie I did called Phantoms. He was only on it for 3 weeks. And he was like, you know, Lawrence of Arabia and all these like epic movies that were like when Hollywood was like golden age. And he was just an incredible, like, it wasn't like a lot of the actors we have now that have been actors since they were kids. So they've never like really, I don't know, they're like kind of in the machine from birth versus like men or women or anybody that was formed like out kind of in the real world and had a ton of like outlandish adventures and like craziness. And I don't know, we just loved each other. So I went with him to his hand and footprint in front of the Chinese theater in Hollywood.
Yeah.
When they put his hand and feet print in there. Mm-hmm. And I think he was like 84 at that time. And he got up out of his wheelchair and he had this beautiful white suit with an ascot. And he kisses me in the ear or in his face. And he goes, "Darling, let's run away together and start a scandal." I'm like, God, I love you. I miss him. So if you guys don't know who that is, check him out. Peter O'Toole.
Y'all better
know. Incredible actor.
Oh my gosh.
And human.
Imagine the stories he told. I mean.
Oh, I heard a lot of them. There's a great picture of him smoking a joint while I'm like sleeping on his lap and he's looking kind of out into the distance or just looking because he's stoned. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, just like that, just like napping. And it was just really, he was like, you know, I never had a grandfather or anybody like that. It wasn't creepy. It was just like, it was just lovely. And my first boyfriend, his mother was actually one of Peter O'Toole's great loves, and she had just died. So he was, you know, quite melancholy about it. Yeah, it's cool.
Wow. Well, that is quite, I think, a response to end on. I don't think it's going to get much better than that, guys.
Cool.
Rose, thank you so much. This really was a pleasure. I know the fans, everyone has been pinging all their questions, so we got to most of them. Thank you all, and thank you, Rose.
Thank you all.
Everyone. Some more claps and hard work.
Thank you all.
Love it. Awesome. Well, we'll let you
sign off,
Rose. Bye. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
And everyone else, make sure you check out those experiences. Those are still available with Rose, those one-on-one chats and autographs until October 9th. We'll do some final shout outs to all of you fans. Thank you so much for watching from around the world. We have people from Australia, Ecuador, where else? The UK, Austria, France, Israel, SoCal, Minnesota, Philly, Arkansas, California, San Bruno, Vegas, Arizona. You guys, this has been so much fun. We have lots and lots of panels available to you guys. So make sure you head to wizardworldvirtual.com or check out Wizard World's Facebook for updates on all of the panels and paid experiences. And don't forget to check out the wizardworldvault.com for all of the different exclusive items that you can purchase that you would normally only get at an in-person Comic-Con. Thank you all again for joining. I'm Liz Prue from purefandom.com, and we'll see you at the next panel.